Hello everyone, I'm Kirsty.
And I'm Dean.
Welcome to Humble Homestead.
And this is Turkey. He's a big boy.
And today we are showing you what we've been doing through the festive period.
No Santa needed.
I'm doing a voiceover because when we are working we do like music on. So we've spent the time over the festive period at my parents' because on our self-sufficiency journey we are combining our land together to grow as much food as possible for the 8 of us. So there's 5 in our household and 3 in theirs. On this day it was just me and my brother, so he was working on putting a fence in between the fire pit and the orchard, and I was testing out his gadgets on some broken trees and bushes. The fence was made with some scrap wood that he had lying around, and now he's going to pave the area so we have somewhere to sit to. Now we have a designated space to sit with a cuppa in front of the fire while we're having a break from what we are doing. Dean was with us this day, so them two worked on a new area for the chickens. This is the area where the coop will be going, and it's a work in progress job for over the winter.
Subscribe and like the video, and thanks for all your help.
While they were doing the chicken coop, I was busy digging out the brambles from around the fruit trees and covering them with some artificial grass that was saved from a skip to prevent it from going in landfill, and it helps us too.
It is kind of walking, isn't it?
So this big boy here, Dean has named Turkey. So these are 3 of my dad's cockerels. And Dean has decided, this is his idea not mine, that after Flockdown, Turkey will be coming home with us. He's named him Turkey because of how big he is compared to the others. He's got a lovely temperament, and we think he will be ideal with our hens. Now for a cuppa in front of the fire before I start with the cranberry juice. Today we're going to be waterbathing some cranberry juice. So I'm hoping this is the last year I have to buy cranberries, because we have got our own cranberry bushes now, but they didn't do much last year, and we're hoping this year is going to be more successful. So in each jar, this is just a simple way, you can juice them first, but this way is easy, you just have to wait a bit of time before you can have them. So in each jar I'm going to put about 60 grams of cranberries. It doesn't have to be exact. I've measured 1, so I'm just going to approximate the other ones because my scales are playing up a bit. The only place I've been able to find cranberries this year is Lidl. Has anybody else had any success? It was the same last year. Well, the year before now. Can also do this with dried cranberries, but you have to rehydrate them. These are 500ml jars I'm using. You can use the ones with the 1 part lid too. This is just what I have the most of. Yep, that looks about right. A few more in that one. And to each of them I'm going to add 1 heaped tablespoon of sugar. So you can use up to, which is about 20 grams, you can use up to 50 grams. With cranberries already being naturally sweet, we find that adding 50 grams is way too much. So the 20 grams does us lovely. Once I've made this on the pantry shelf, there will be pineapple juice, apple juice and elderberry cordial that I've made. So this will be a nice addition because we have run out of last year's. There we go. Now we're just going to fill them with water just to the neck there, which is the first bottom ridge. Well, the neck even, not the shoulder, so just there. So they've got room to bubble. I'm using filtered water, but you can just use regular water. I need a bit more water, so I'll put back when the rest are full. They're all full, so I'm just going to get a clean cloth and some white vinegar. You can also use lemon juice. And I'm just going to wipe the top and the rim of each one. This just makes sure that nothing sticks to the lids and prevents a proper seal. Now I'm just going to add a lid and a ring to each one. If you are using this type of jar, it's just the same. So you do it as normal, wipe the rim and top, and then just put it on finger tight. Well, these jars aren't sterilised, it has changed. As long as they're clean, they are fine to do. So I will put, if I can find the link to where it says that. So just finger tight. I will put that. If you're making jam, and things like that, and you're not water bath or pressure canning, you still need to sterilise your jars. But because these are getting boiled, that naturally sterilises them. It's on either the ball canning or the WEC website. I will try and find the link. So I'm just doing these just until there's a give. I'm not putting any pressure at all into it. So for this, it's also a great way of using old sauce jars. As long as the lid's not damaged, you're fine to use the lid. If it is damaged, there is lids available on eBay, Amazon and other places where you can just measure the top. You measure there and you can get replacement lids. You can save quite a bit of money that way. That's what I do for these ones. They are ready for the water bath canner, so I'll get that out and put back. To the bottom, I'm just going to add my jar rest. This just stops the heat going directly onto the jars. If you don't have one of these, just a folded tea towel at the bottom will do absolutely fine. Now I'm just going to fill the canner. This one fits 8 jars comfortably. So now what I'm going to do is just put a splash of vinegar in before I add the water. And this just stops the jars going cloudy, especially if you're in a hard water area. I'm now going to cover these at least an inch over the jars. If your pot isn't big enough to do that, and what I did with my other one before I got one, you can just go to the neck of the jar, but it can't be any lower than that. So I'll just fill up to there with water. So I'll come back once this is filled. That's that filled. It's got over an inch of water above it. I'm going to turn that on. And we're going to leave it to get to a rolling boil. We're not going to start the timer until that point. So I will pop back then. Just nearly at a rolling boil, so I'll give it 1 more minute. And then I'm going to start a timer for 25 minutes. 25 minutes on a rolling boil. I'm going to start the timer and I'll come back when it's done. It's been 25 minutes, so I'm going to turn it off and just let them settle for 5 minutes before removing them. Been about 10 minutes, so I'm going to get these out. The only thing I would suggest you getting if you're starting your water bathing journey is some jar lifters. It's a bit awkward to do without them. They're only a few pound on eBay, and sometimes you can get them in a nice little set. And they need to go on a tea towel or something so they don't go into shock and shatter. and then they need to be left for about 24 hours before moving them. Oops, could have been nasty. And with these, you need them, leave them at least 4 weeks. To give the sugar and the berries a chance to infuse together. And then they will be ready. And there is our cranberry juice. So as you can see, they're already losing their colour and the juice is forming. But it's best to leave them at least 4 to 6 weeks before trying them. I'll come back. That will pop with, that's one of them sealed already, but I still need to leave them for about 24 hours before I check the others. It's been about 24 hours and these are all sealed. So if you're using these jars, they suck in when they're sealed. So you can see that it's quite level now, and if you put a knife over it like that, you can see there's a little gap when it's sealed. I know these 2-part ones aren't sealed when these press in and make that noise. And you can also hear the hollowness on both of them, on these, if they're not sealed. So they need to be stored without rings. This is so you can see if they fail more and to make sure they don't have a false seal. And another way is to pick them up by the seal to ensure that the seal is done properly. And now just every week or so I'm going to give them a little shake just to let it all combine. And then after about, we normally leave it about 6 weeks, but leave it at least 4. They're fine to drain off the cranberries, or even freeze them and use them as ice cubes, and then drink the cranberry juice. I hope you've enjoyed this video, everybody. Thank you for watching. Bye.